Have you ever thought about when was the first time an NBA team tanked? Or when a team was losing games on purpose in pursuit of the first overall pick? As a Kings fan, I actually do not think the team tried to tank during their playoffs drought. They were simply a bad team, which is different from tanking. To be fair, even if the Kings landed the first overall pick, it will probably be a bust due to their history of selections on draft nights. Some people may say the Bucks and the Suns tried to tank to have the right to choose Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, back in 1969. However, the 1969 season was the first season for these two expansion teams, and I guess maybe the Suns were trying to tank since they drafted only young players in the expansion draft. The oldest player on the Suns roster was Bob Warlick. He was 27, and they were the youngest team in the season. But overall, expansion teams had limited choices of players, so I wouldn't put the tank label on them. The Houston Rockets seems to be the first team to lose games on purpose, according to many sources. The time was February 1984. The Rockets had the record of 20-26, which was quite impressive, since they finished the previous season with just a 14-68 record. And that 14-68 record landed them the first overall pick, Ralph Sampson, in 1983. 20-26 was decent, right? And they were the 8th seed, which was the final playoff spot in 1984 as well. However, the front office of the Rockets had a different idea. After their victory on February 2nd, which made them 20-26, they went 9-27 for the final 36 regular season games, and they ended the season with a 29-53 record, the worst team in the Western Conference. And back in 1984, the worst team from each conference would participate in a coin flip. So it was very good for a team that tries to tank because it was very efficient. Like if you are the worst team at your conference, you're guaranteed a top 2 pick. And it's not because of injury, because their top 2 scorers, Sampson and Louis Lloyd, played the entire season, and the rest of the team seemed fairly healthy. So what happened? According to an article on the Recliner GM Sports blog, one of the most suspicious actions was coach Bill Fitch somewhat resurrecting 38-year-old Alvin Hayes' career for one last season. For no real reason, Hayes played all 53 minutes in Houston's 81st game of the season, and the first 35 minutes in the last game. That sounds absurd. It's like playing Udonis Haslem 53 minutes a game. I mean, Haslem is not 38, but just a very old person. Fitch claimed that he wanted Hayes to end his career with exactly 50,000 minutes. And I guess that could be a reason, but okay, then you could have played him like more in like beginning of the season. Because in that final season, the 84 season, Hayes only averaged 12.3 minutes per game. He played 81 games, so he was pretty healthy, but 12 minutes per game that season. Like, why do you suddenly play him like 53 minutes in one game? That's crazy. And Sports.com suggests that the Rockets started to give a lot of minutes to players sitting at the end of the bench figuratively, after they went on a decent run in the beginning of the season. Frank Layden, a former coach from the Utah Jazz, claimed that a Rockets executive told him that the team was losing on purpose. It was a business decision. As you know, the Rockets landed Hakeem Olajuwon on the draft night of 1984 with their first overall pick. So it worked out amazing for them. Jordan could have been better, but 2 champs was fantastic already. And in 1985, just 1 year after this tanking job, the NBA introduced a new drafting rule called the draft lottery, which means it decreases the effectiveness of tanking. However, the 1985 draft lottery was fixed and rigged to many people. When the Knicks won the lottery and have the right to draft Patrick Ewing, but that could be another video. But thank you for watching. This was the story of the first NBA team that tanked or losing game on purpose.